And we're live.
Okay, so it's been after a quite a drab Monday. It's been an
Yeah.
exciting start for us on a Tuesday because every time I know IPL is on and I know all of us are enjoying the IPL, but whenever it comes to Indian cricket, that's what gets us even more excited. And so on cue, as we were expecting today early morning, that the team for the World Test Championship final is going to be announced, and it has been announced. No big changes. I mean, pretty much the team that we expected, barring that one change, I think, which would be, is it part of our title already, or does it require drum rolls, Shane? No, so no
No,
drum.
no drum rolls, no suspense. We've broken it straight up.
Mm. So Ajinkya Rahane comes into the team. We'll get into the team in a bit of detail. But firstly, Ajinkya Rahane is in, and there is Rahul Rawat and joining us live from. Are you disappointed? My first question is: you are in your whites, getting ready. Your name has not been announced in the WTC team. You are
Which
putting
name?
in the hard yards.
Your name.
Your name
Which
in the
name?
WTC team.
Oh,
WTC.
acha. Oh, see, I've got another
Both of you must be. You are in your
two
whites
players
with,
omitted.
with red ball,
Two
whites.
two players have been omitted from that squad.
Rahul Rawat and Vikrant Gupta.
So we've made the team, yeah. We made the Yug Sports 11 team. We
Oh,
made it to the team.
So I want to know, did you guys have an idea that the test team will be announced today? That's why you decided today we will wear our whites and play with
Symbolic.
red ball rather than white ball and colored clothing.
It's symbolic. Quite symbolic.
Quite symbolic. Yeah, you had to wear white because it doesn't happen usually in our cricket. It's mostly colored clothing with some white ball, but this time it has changed. Opening thoughts are big. We've just started. Ajinkya Rahane comes back. We heard there were murmurs that he was practicing with he was asked to practice with the Duke's ball and get ready for Test cricket. What do you make of his selection? I know he's been in splendid form in the IPL, but to come back into Test cricket,
I think it was expected also because you didn't have Shreyas Iyer. He was injured, and Surya Kumar Yadav, they did try him. He was part of that Australia squad. Also, didn't get too many opportunities. But maybe his white ball form may have affected or resulted in this selection of Ajinkya Rahane. So three players basically have not been selected from the squad that was announced that actually played against Australia. Shreyas Iyer, of course, because of injury. Ishan Kishan is not there. Kuldeep Yadav is not there, and there's one more player. No, uh,
Shreyas
one
Iyer.
more. I think there was one more player. Yeah. So these three players have. But if I think all of us would have sat down yesterday and would have prepared a 15-member squad yesterday, I think more or less we also would have selected the same 15. And also it happened with Cheteshwar Pujara also, because at that time there was a school of thought that. Uh, that actually considered that maybe it is the end of the road for Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. There was a time, but Cheteshwar Pujara went and played the county cricket when last IPL was happening here, and Pujara uh, got an opportunity to play Test cricket all over again. Maybe it also has exposed your deficiencies in the middle order, that you have to go back to Ajinkya Rahane. But then, Ajinkya Rahane, he played when he was omitted, he was excluded, he was removed from the Indian team. He went back to domestic cricket. You would remember that, that press conference of Chetan Sharma, the then chief selector. He said, and at that time, it wasn't sure whether Rahane will again play Test cricket or not, because he went back to domestic cricket, got runs, and now he is back in the fray. And I think he will be in the 11 also.
Oh, interesting. I don't know what are Vikrant's thoughts. I mean, because Rahul says that even if all of us had been asked to pick the 11, we would have picked the same 11. The only one if you, I mean, yeah, the squad. I mean, the member. I would have been like, if I knew this for a few days, because as I said, there were murmurs that Ajinkya Rahane could come in. So in that regard, you would know. But honestly, when the murmurs started happening, I did not ever imagine that he would come back. So if I was to make the squad, I don't know. That would be a left field selection for me, that you're going to Ajinkya Rahane. But I don't know. Did you think of white ball exploits resulting in him
But
coming back to test?
Nikhil scored runs in the Ranji Trophy also, in the domestic cricket also. In fact, in Duleep Trophy also.
Yeah, he was leading that team.
Yeah. So I think Rahane, again, you've got to go in with your best, and I think the selectors have nudged him, like they did with Cheteshwar Pujara last year. I mean, when Rahane and Pujara had been batting together for India, all of us thought that it was the end of the two. Then Pujara went, played county cricket. That was the route that he took. He made a comeback, got runs in Bangladesh also, and he is in the team. Similarly, I think Ajinkya Rahane, his experience of batting in England, Rahane again, I think is a bit underrated cricketer. Somebody who's played one of the most defining knocks for India in Test cricket. Remember when India were all out for 36, and the century that he got in Melbourne led the team. I think that was very decisive. He got a century in the Lord's Test match in 2014. He's got runs in difficult conditions. Yes, he was struggling, but I think it was also a mental battle. I mean, Rahane, now we know that his technique also depends on the mental state. Having got runs in domestic cricket must have helped. But you're right. I think the final nudge must have been the IPL. Now, people will be surprised. Oh, it's the IPL, it's the T20s, it's the white ball cricket. Why is Rahane in the team for the red ball Test cricket? I think it is the state of mind. Rahane's state of mind in the last few innings that we've seen in the IPL clearly signifies that maybe he's gotten over those demons he was struggling with. Maybe the weight of expectations has gone off his shoulders. Maybe he was just enjoying his game, and maybe this could be the final win that he needs. I'm okay with the team that the selectors have announced. Maybe the 11, like Rahul says, will pick themselves. The only point of consideration would be 2 points of consideration would be the weather and the conditions in London when the test match approaches. I mean, it's June, first week of June. Normally, summer arrives in the first week of June, but it's not hot. So if it rains, if it's cloudy, if it's overcast, maybe India could go in with 4 fast bowlers as well. And the fourth one would be Shardul, because he can bat. That is precisely the reason he's been selected. And then you would have 1 spinner. Or because of the fact that the match will be played at the Oval, where there is extra bounce for the spinners, there can be some turn for the spinners also. So India could actually go in with 2 spinners and 3 fast bowlers. I think that is one point. Another would be the wicketkeeper. Now, the selectors have clearly written, while they announced the team, that KS Bharat is the only wicketkeeper in the team. He's the only wicketkeeper in the team, designated wicketkeeper in the team. Now, it'll be up to the team management. Can they go against what has been decided in the meeting? Has KL Rahul been selected as a backup opener? Has he been selected as somebody who can bat in the middle order? Or has he been selected as somebody who can bat and also keep wickets? I have my doubts. India will take a risk with the wicket keeping in a test match in England with KL Rahul. KL Rahul, I think, has done enough in test cricket to merit a place in the team purely as a batsman. Whether or not he qualifies for the final 11 is a call that they must take later on. But as of now, KS Bharat is the wicketkeeper, and I think he must play as a wicketkeeper batsman.
Those are interesting, and I'll do a rapid fire with all of us picking that one player, whether it's a keeper, whether it's that all-rounder, who we're going to pick. But Shane and Siddharth, initial thoughts on the selection?
Siddharth, you go first.
I think Yeah, I think the squad has got depth. It's covered all the bases that it needs to be for that one test that will be played at the Oval. Now the playing 11, I think if Rahane is included, I mean, if and many people are saying that he could play in the 11, then I think I see no place for KL Rahul in that 11. You are going to play with Rohit, Shubman, Cheteshwar, Virat, Rahane, Bharat. That will be your batting lineup, and then either of Jadeja or Ashwin, then you have got your four fast bowlers because of the bounce that will be there at the Oval. Fresh conditions, first test of the summer. That is why I think this is an ideal team combination. But whether you'll play Rahul or whether you'll play Rahane in the 11, that is the conundrum. But for me, looking at the confidence factor, why not try Rahane? Why not?
Yeah, I agree with Sid. I think it's pretty much, I think the only spot or the only slot that really has this thing, like a little bit of a question mark, is who plays at five. You could go for KL, who's done a decent job there. But ODI cricket, or you could very well go for Rahane, someone who's a proven performer in that level as far as internationals are concerned. So I think I don't know if they picked Rahane. I don't think it's just to warm the bench. I think he's probably the favorite to start there. KL as a wicket keeper in tests, no, I'd still rather stick with KS, even though I know he didn't really convince a lot. There were points where his wicket keeping was a bit poor during the test series in India, but I think you'd still want to be sticking with your one designated specialist keeper. So it's a straight shootout between KL and Rahane for me, and I think Rahane is winning that shootout.
Okay,
I think
the few
if it
interesting.
has
Yeah,
if
go.
it has to be a choice, I think now that you have picked Rahane,
Exactly.
he wasn't there, and now you've picked him in the squad. I think he is going to play in the 11. As far as KL Rahul is concerned, I think it will be a toss up between KL Rahul and KS Bharat, where I feel KS Bharat might just get get to play in that 11 because he's got superior keeping skills, and you wouldn't want to risk. See, KL Rahul, I can understand. He's played a lot of cricket. In fact, he was perhaps one of the reasons why India did so well when the last time India toured England for that tour, which of course,
four test matches.
The
Yeah.
first three test matches.
Four. He
Four.
played in four. The fifth one was played last year. It was a 5 test series. India were leading 2-1, and then the last test match.
So
Injury
India
and
were
loss.
leading. So he and Rohit Sharma, because of the starts that these two gave, I think that was one of the reasons why India did so well on that tour. But I think if it has to be a toss-up, it has to be a toss-up between KL Rahul and KS Bharat, not between Ajinkya Rahane and KL Rahul, because you've got a senior player, who was not in contention. It seemed that it was all over for Ajinkya Rahane. Now that you've got him in, I think you will play him as well.
Yeah.
Okay, my initial thoughts about the big news for me is, of course, Ajinkya Rahane is coming, and I think more than looking at his domestic numbers and everything, I think they've gone in, and the management, I think, have gone in, and we all know that someone like a Rahul Dravid, Rohit Sharma know Ajinkya pretty well. I think they've gone in purely on his experience. That this is a one-off final. We need someone who's experienced, so let's get him. But what that also tells me, two players, I think, pretty much are out of the scheme of things. One, we've forgotten that Surya Kumar Yadav experiment is done. He's not in the squad. So remember, he was part of that Australia Test squad. But now you tried him a bit in that series, but now that experiment, or that the fact that you were going to go in with him in Test cricket, that's done because he's not part of the squad, right? So whether he makes it to the 11 or not,
that also was, Nikhil, horses for courses. I mean, you knew Australia were coming, and he was part of the scheme because of the fact that the series was to be played on turning tracks, and there was this notion of Surya Kumar Yadav playing spinners well. There was also this notion of him scoring quick runs on turning tracks. I mean, he played one test match, didn't get runs. Of course, he was dumped. And I think, like you said, Nikhil, it was an experiment only for a series. If he'd scored runs, maybe he would have played more. If he'd scored a 50 or a 60 or a 70, maybe he would have been going to England as well. But I think they were wise enough to understand that, on seaming tracks in England, it'll be a problem with him. Again, you can only name 15. Thankfully, you can only name 15 because it's an ICC event. Otherwise, India could have named 17, 18 or 25 like they've done in the past. So, players who miss out will feel unlucky. But I think this is the best 11 India could field out there in the park. Jaydev Unadkat is the only left-arm medium pacer that you have, a left-arm fast bowler that you have. I think he's just a backup. If India were to go in with two spinners, the three fast bowlers would be Siraj, Shami, and Umesh Yadav. And the two spinners, again, Ashwin and Jadeja. Akshar would be unlucky to miss out. But in case, like I said, the weather so demands and the conditions so demand, then maybe you drop one spinner and get Shardul Thakur in. Shardul is very deceptive. Remember his performance in Australia. Remember his performance in England, where he played as an all-rounder because he could bat. He got runs, and he's very deceptive with the ball. If the ball swings, which will in England, then he can also pick up a few wickets. But I still feel that if India were to go by the tradition at the Oval, they'll field two spinners. Too early, but right now I think that could be the call.
For me, I think India will play 4 fast bowlers and 1
Could
spinner.
Could be.
Okay, no, I agree with the fact that Sky was picked maybe for that one-off, but I would say that he gets one test and is out. That he cannot play in English conditions and he's out. I don't know, if I'm a Surya Kumar Yadav, I'm a bit aggrieved with just one test match and a preconceived notion that I can only play spinners well. So just going back to that point, I think it's a big call that you've taken, that he's out of the squad. So that's the first thing that I noticed, that a guy plays only one game, because for everyone else, we have a slightly different yardstick, and we think that if you bring somebody into the squad, you give them a longer time to prove themselves and not just a one-off test match. Because, I mean, if you had to make a spot in the 11, I don't know if I'd take 3 spinners. There's no way that those 3 spinners are playing. I think I can say it with a great degree of certainty right now, that I don't think Akshar Patel will play, no matter how good he's been with the bat. You're not going to play 3 spinners. So he's pretty much going there as a backup. So I'm just saying, somebody who was part of that entire squad and you were wanting, or maybe you thought that he could do well in the longer format, he's out. Maybe they go back to him later when the next series comes after WTC, and maybe this is a one-off. But I think at the moment, I probably would have wanted to see his name after just playing one test in that 15. But I guess maybe you're right. Maybe
One
it's just
surprise
one WTC.
KL Rahul was your test captain in the absence of Rohit Sharma. He was also your designated vice captain. And I think the third and the fourth test matches,
last 2 test matches.
when the team was announced for the last 2 test matches, India did not announce a vice captain. And of course, he was dropped also, I think, because he was in the squad. But if he'd been the vice captain, then, it becomes kind of mandatory for you to not drop the vice captain. So he's not the vice captain now. India have not announced a vice captain. I mean, that's a little tricky, I would say. Are they then leaving doors open for KL Rahul? I think if they'd named Ashwin, for example, as the vice captain, KL Rahul could have still played in the 11. And I still feel that India should have declared a vice captain, and it should have been Ravichandran Ashwin. I don't know why they did not do that. Again, are they not sure of Ashwin
exactly.
also?
I think
maybe one spinner, if there's one spinner, so they do not want to tie the team management.
I think that's precisely the reason.
Then Pujara could have been the vice captain.
Pujara could have been the vice captain. But now maybe they are too sure that, nobody is going to get injured, because still you have today is 25th. You have close to 1.5 months left for the test match to begin at the Oval, because that's on 7th. So you still have a month and 2 weeks or 6 weeks left for that test match to begin. Vice captain, I can still understand. But, Surya Kumar Yadav, you mentioned. See, Surya Kumar Yadav at that time was warming the chair for Shreyas Iyer. The moment Shreyas Iyer got fit, he straight away from NCA flew out to Delhi, played that test match in a span of, say, he came here just a couple of days before that test match and straight away played that test match. And the logic to bring in somebody like Shreyas Iyer ahead of Ajinkya Rahane at that time was that they wanted somebody who could score at a better strike rate in test cricket. And at that time, see, with Cheteshwar Pujara also the same thing happened, because they thought that, in India, we are playing in India, anybody can bat in the middle order, anybody can score. But that didn't happen. I think for Surya Kumar Yadav, his white ball form, the way he batted in the last few months, I think may have something to do with that.
530 odd runs in Ranji Trophy, and many more in other red ball formats in India. I mean, at least and Ajinkya.
Yeah.
So Ajinkya, I think if because you selecting 15, and if it is Sky versus Rahane, I would have gone in Nikhil with Rahane. The runs that he scored in domestic cricket, fine. The state of mind, the way he's playing in T20s in the IPL. I mean, again, it could be kiddish of people to select a test team on the basis of IPL, but he's Ajinkya Rahane. He's somebody who's toured England many times. He's somebody who's been India's proven test player. I mean, yes, he didn't get runs. At the same time, when Ajinkya Rahane did not get runs in test cricket, even Virat didn't get runs in test cricket. Cheteshwar Pujara was not getting runs in test cricket. So were the others. So I think he's somebody who I can define as a confidence player. And since this is just one test match, and I'm not saying that Rahane will only be there for one test match. When you have Rahane in the team, like you had Cheteshwar Pujara in the team for one test match last year, Pujara got runs, and then he's been playing test cricket after that. I just hope Rahane does that. Rahane is a solid player. Yes, he was out of form, and so were the others. So if others have gotten chances, why should Rahane not get chances?
No. Even if I was picking the squad, I probably may have gone with an Ajinkya Rahane. But I'm just saying that when you pick squads, you do look at who were the players that were part of your squad earlier, and Suryakumar Yadav was, and you at that time your whole idea was that he can be successful in Test cricket. So you've done away with that after one Test match.
Against spinners on turning tracks.
But you can't pick test squads going into the future just for India. Like, I mean, when you rely on a player, or you say that he is a future in test cricket, I can't just pick him. Okay, the day we'll have turning tracks or in India only, then you come in. I'm okay with Rahane. I think probably that is what they would have gone in, and Rahane's experience comes into play. I completely understand that, and he is going to play 11. I'm saying, but it is a clear indication you're done with that after just a one series, and that's the big news point for me. The first thing that I see, that and another man who probably right now, I think none of us would have ever picked him in the team, but at least this squad tells me that whatever chances he got is also done and dusted, and that door is closed, is that of Hanuma Vihari, because that name kept coming up that maybe he comes back. But I agree that maybe his time was done. He got those chances, he did not make use of those opportunities, so he's done.
Yeah, he's had a very moderate domestic season.
Exactly.
But didn't really set the domestic circuit on fire. I mean, unfortunate for him. Hanuma Vihari, in whatever little that he played for India, he did reasonably well. But again, there are certain players, Nikhil, and it's not a bias for or against, but there are certain players that have shelf life. And I think Hanuma Vihari, unfortunately, is one of those.
And Hanuma Vihari was always treated as a makeshift arrangement. Whenever you had to play an extra batsman overseas, you would then go in for Hanuma Vihari. You would remember in India, he was, and also if Hanuma Vihari, if he had to play someday for India permanently, it had to be if both Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane, if the Indian selectors would have would have done away with these two players, Ajinkya Rahane and Cheteshwar Pujara. But you said, why do you, now you're going for an overseas tour or an important test match, then you're picking Ajinkya Rahane. But that happened with Pujara also last year. I wonder if that one-off test match that India played in England, if that wouldn't have happened, if that series or that game wouldn't have happened, I doubt if Pujara also would have made it to the Indian team. Maybe he also would have faced the same fate as Ajinkya Rahane, because they were trying for somebody in the middle order, and they thought that it's now for Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. The road was closed. The door was closed for both of them. But now that you've picked, I think it's a very it's a squad that every one of us would have picked the same squad. Now the 11 also, if you ask me, I think 11 is also looks pretty simple. The only thing for me, even the bowling combination also, I think it's going to be 4 fast bowlers plus 1 spinner. Just that they may have to pick one between KS Bharat and KL Rahul, and in that case also I think KS Bharat is ahead, at least as of now. And it's just that, maybe I hope there is no injury concern, because Shardul Thakur, I'm not too sure, because he's not been bowling regularly for KKR in this IPL, and he sat out also because somebody like him, who is considered to be a white ball specialist, is not playing in the IPL 11. There has to be some fitness or injury concern. Whether the suggestion came from the NCA, from VVS Lakshman, as was told to us by the BCCI, that NCA will monitor. It's just that you, Nikhil, you only told me the other day that you've spoken to a franchisee owner, in fact, Nes Wadia from Punjab Kings, and you asked him this question, that is the NCA monitoring the fitness of these players? And you told me that he said no, they have not been in touch with any of these, at least with them, they have not been in touch.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he went on to say that if you want to manage workload, then why don't you manage it in international cricket rather than, look at IPL? IPL is just a short window. And if that is an issue, then probably international cricket where you play 50, 60 matches, I would advise you not to have that. There are lots of issues, health issues that happen with the beverage that you're consuming. The other point that I
He
want.
said, it is wonderful. What is this? So he's asking me, what is this? Batao. He cannot be an Indian, na?
He
Has he
cannot.
come from England? He's having ganne ka ras and he's saying, what is this? Khatam ho
Yeah,
gaya?
perfect.
Bhaiya ko to pila.
Yaar, batting karwa do.
Summer drink. Okay, one other point I think which all of us expected, but I think still needs to be said and still needs to be established in this team selection, because we're talking about Ajinkya Rahane. There's a big talking about the other thing. People thought, and there was still hope, that maybe because it's a one-off final, it's a final of an ICC tournament. So one expectation that was there was that Hardik Pandya may make that return for a one-off game, because you might look at a seam
But
bowling
himself
all-rounder.
said
No,
he had
I'm
himself
saying
said
no. I that's what I'm saying. There was one expectation because it's a one-off final. We know that he's not playing Test cricket regularly or red ball cricket. And I knew that when the team is around, he's not going to be there, because he himself has said no. There has been no communication. But I'm saying that one talking point, if we were to sit before the selection was happened, that we may have spoken that, listen, like Rahul said, we don't know about Shardul, whether he'll bowl those many overs. And if you're looking at that all-rounder, because remember in that series against Australia, Akshar was that all-rounder. He is not going to be playing in this team. He's not going to be in that 11. So you definitely need an all-rounder, and I can bet my bottom dollar that Shardul Thakur is playing that game, because Rohit Sharma mentioned it ahead of the Ahmedabad Test match. He was asked because India was leading. But he's fit. He's not been bowling because he's leaking a lot of runs.
I
So
have my doubts.
Nikhil,
He's always leaking runs, Nikhil. He's always
But
been leaking. His
I
ability is to
agree.
pick wickets.
No, I agree. But he will play. I'm telling you, that was planned much
Yeah,
before. That is why he
yeah,
was
yeah.
selected.
what team
I'm
is he
saying the
playing?
only option he wouldn't have played would have been if Hardik Pandya would
What
have
team
played.
is he playing for in the IPL?
It's his Shane's favorite team.
So I'm sorry, Shane, but I dare say that KKR will finish off their games by the 21st of May.
Correct.
So which would allow Shardul Thakur an extra 1 week, if at all. An extra 1 week.
Yeah.
If there are any small little niggles, so it'll allow him an extra 1 week. I think the Hardik situation, again, two ways you can look at that situation. A, people praised him, said, he was a selfless cricketer who said, since I do not deserve to be in the test side, so I do not want to be there. I do not want to eat into anybody else's place. I mean, there's no Hardik Pandya. There is no substitute for Hardik Pandya. So I don't think, it was a sacrifice that he made. He's decided not to play Test cricket to prolong his white ball cricket career. And it amazes me, it surprises me, baffles me, to be honest, that at this stage, he's young. What exactly is the fitness problem? Again, there is a problem that he has. Is it so severe at this age that now we will never ever see Hardik Pandya playing in the red ball format? I mean, 8 10 ball 8 10 overs in a day, or 8 10 overs in an innings, and for him to bat at number 6 or 7, I think India needed that balance. And again, like I said, two ways of looking at it. A, you praise him for not throwing his name in the hat, so as to say. Second, could he have taken the chance? I'm sure the team management would have wanted him, but could he have told the team management, okay, let me play this test match. I'll try my best and see whatever best can be done.
Yeah, I think so. That's what this team selection actually tells me, that he won't be playing red ball cricket. I'm saying I knew this, but if there was that one little hope that because it's an ICC final and you make a last minute thing, that's also not happened. So it's pretty much like seal the deal. Okay, we'll wrap up, but just one word questions from all of you. I'll just ask, who is your opener? When we go one by one, just one word so that we can finish it quickly. Who is your opener alongside Rohit Sharma? I know a lot of these answers are obvious, but just for the sake of our viewers. So Rohit Sharma, alongside him, is it because KL also played half the series and Shubman played half the series. So Rohit Sharma, and next to him, we'll start with Shane.
Gill.
Siddharth.
Shubman Gill.
Rahul.
No brainer.
Exactly.
No brainer. Gill. I think, yeah, all of us Gill. Who is the wicket keeper? Same order. KS Bharat. And I know KL Rahul has not been designated, but you never know. Team management can still, I mean, you don't have to have that name. They could still decide in that 11 to have KL. So same order, Shane, wicket keeper.
KS Bharat.
Sid.
KS.
Rahul.
Bharat.
Prashant.
It has to be Bharat, but I won't be surprised if it is KL Rahul.
Very interesting. Okay, who's that all-rounder? You'll definitely need an all-rounder, considering 5 batsmen, 1 wicket keeper, 6, 7 number. You will need an all-rounder. Is it an Akshar Patel? Is it a Shardul Thakur? Or what is it? Again, Shane?
No, I think, see, your spinners, you'd definitely be having Jadeja and Shardul with him. For sure.
Shardul. Sid.
Jadeja and Shardul for me also. I don't see Ashwin playing this because it's the oval, early pitch conditions, fresh wicket. I don't think Ashwin's getting a chance.
Rahul.
Shardul is your fourth fast bowler for sure, and I'm going with Ravichandran Ashwin.
I'll play both Jadeja and Ashwin.
And so no Shardul.
If it's cold, if the summer sets in a bit later, if it is raining, maybe Shardul. Else, I'll go in with your best 5 bowlers. And Jadeja, Ashwin can also bat, which means that if it's Bharat, Jadeja and Ashwin, you bat till about number 8.
Bharat at 8.
Yeah.
Bharat at 8.
Yeah. So in which case you're playing 3 fast bowlers for you, if both Jadeja and Ashwin play. So yeah, which is possible if maybe the conditions dictate, but if they don't, and if it's cold and typically English and pitches like that, then you'll have to probably go with Shardul. And I won't be surprised if, I know that most people might just pick Jadeja as that spinner. Who knows? They might just go with Ashwin. He gives you a batting option too. He
Management
could be
change.
that. Yes.
Will be Ashwin.
Plus,
Could be
So
Ashwin.
that's why I picked Jadeja second
Ashwin,
spinner.
My guess is Ashwin as the lone spinner and 4
Yeah.
fast bowlers, including Shardul.
I'm with that. I also feel that might happen. It'll either be Ashwin, the lone spinner, 4 fast bowler with Shardul, or at best, if conditions are very different, then Shardul goes out and Jadeja comes in. So it's a swap between Shardul and Jadeja, but I think Ashwin will play.
plus Ashwin in his county stint. Ashwin in his county stint played at the oval the most with Surrey.
That is the reason why he went there. And also, who's your vice captain, Nikhil? Pujara or Ashwin? Jadeja or Rahane?
I will make. I don't think they'll go with Rahane. I'll make Pujara my vice captain for this one-off game, if you need.
Why
But,
not Ashwin?
huh?
Why not Ashwin?
Ashwin could be too. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Uncertain starter.
Anyway, what is the role of a vice captain?
Never know. You still have half the season of IPL left. There could be a
तो बाद में तो they can.
Oh,
captain. But you never know. You know, you it's a competitive sport.
Yeah.
Anything can happen any day.
I have to ask Chandresh about this.
we
He's
will.
somebody who generally is very good with his forecasts
Yeah,
about injuries.
you know that.
Yes, yes. Okay, before we wrap up, I'll take one comment from Shri. It's a funny comment, so I'm taking it. He's saying, "No, you guys are wrong. Shubman's not going to open. KL is going to open because he's been told. That's why he's been playing maiden overs. He's getting ready for WTC board." So yeah, Chalo. On that note, thank you so much. You guys have a good game. We'll see you in office. It's
My
been
day's over. Got out.
days over. Already batted.
I batted number 3. Got out only for 13 to a leg spinner who's played under 25 for Haryana. I mean, all the boys that we're playing with are either under 19 players or under 25 players, and a few
Wow.
of them have played Ranji Trophy as well.
That's why
Wrong place, wrong time.
That's why I didn't go out to bat.
They bowl.
You know, all spinners are operating.
Wrist spinners, yaar.
Chinamen they have. Imagine Chinamen. Also, they have a Chinaman. They have a leg spinner. They have a left arm orthodox. Off spinner, I haven't seen. There is no off spinner.
Oh God.
So I'm going to wrap this up and we'll.
He has to pad up.
Okay. Chalo. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
See you in office.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
बंद कैसे होता है?